1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Click subscribe while you're at it. And we are now available on YouTube and Rumble as well. You can type in Country and Cold Cans. You'll see the logo for the channel on both of those sites. The handle is at Cold Cans Country. The podcast will be available on YouTube automatically every time we upload a new episode from here on out. We're going to be posting some more clips and short form content on both there. We'd love to have you follow us on those things. It's at Cold Cans Country on YouTube and Rumble. Be able to give us a description in the description of this podcast. There's a link that says click here to leave us a voicemail. I'd love to hear from you there too. Any music recommendations or any questions or anything you want to say. It's a place to do it. Check out the website, coldcansnetwork.com for blog content, and then coldcanshatco.com for hats and t-shirts. They are now available. All right, fellas. Andy, you're on the road. I'm sitting here in the Cold Can studio with Kyle. Andy, where are you at?
Nebraska.
Not quite home in Kansas, eh?
But it's
A little
close.
north.
What town? Lincoln?
Odessa.
I thought there's an Odessa, Nebraska.
There's an Odessa in a lot of places. Just outside of Kearney.
Where the
Or
fuck's Kearney at?
is probably most people would see it.
All right. I need a more general reference. How close are you to? Are you in eastern, western, northern, southern?
Central.
Okay. So
Central, southern, probably. I'm on Interstate 80.
how far from Lincoln? I know where Lincoln is.
Lincoln is probably 150 miles east of here.
Okay. All right.
They sell
Okay.
Zen there?
Yeah, pretty sure they do.
Oh, well, apparently they sell Zen everywhere because Zen is really popular, which brings us to the first thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. Kyle, I know that you've probably heard about it. Andy, I know you said that you don't really know much about it, but where is Chuck Schumer from? New York, right? Senator?
Yes.
Yeah. So Schumer apparently held up a piece of paper the other day with all the different Zen cans on it, the different flavors, saying that it's time for the government to crack down on Zen. Saying that, I don't know if it's the same argument they were making with all the Jewel pods, all the flavors, saying that it's too attractive to teenagers, saying they're using it as in replace of e-cigarettes. I'm old enough to remember when they cracked down on e-cigs because they said e-cigs, they're using it in replace of cigarettes. And that was after the battle where they didn't want the teenagers smoking cigarettes. Well, these days they're not really smoking cigarettes, they're vaping. And from what I can gather, they're not really doing the Zens. The Zens is by the college age on up. Folks like us and folks a little bit younger than us are hard on the Zens. I know I'm a fan, but like, I guess the different flavors and the different colorful packaging, these out of touch 70-year-olds in DC are now coming for our Zens, and the internet went wild.
They're borderline octogenarians.
Yeah, I don't know what they really think this is going to do. They think that the teenagers are just out there popping Zens all the time, but it's not. It's people our age that are popping Zens all the time. And the internet's always undefeated when dealing with this stuff. All the memes of just like the "Don't tread on me," the "Come and take it," and it had like a Zen can on it. It was
Oh, yeah, I want
hilarious.
to-
Then
Yes.
one of the things that I'm kind of thought was like really funny, but also I'm like, they really are going to piss off a lot of people. There's a lot of Boston Zen party memes.
Oh yeah.
And then there was some that said, you thought January 6th was bad. Wait till the Zensurrection.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
I was like, I could be down with the Zensurrection.
Lucky for me, I don't care. I'm a Velo guy.
Andy, you think that Zen is the only thing that they're going to be going after? They're going after Velo and Rogue and all that stuff.
And the
Zen's just the most
government,
popular,
hey,
man.
they're just trying to drive me back to the old backy.
Well, that's
I
the
mean-
thing, though. It's a safer alternative to the tobacco.
They just want you to go rip some Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, some cowboy killers.
I don't know. Maybe I think this all started when they came after the Marlboro man. Should have just left him alone.
It's a never-ending like revolution. These old dudes, both sides of the aisle in DC, they're just like, what can we come after that the people love now? Zens,
Nicotine.
nicotine, and it's not. This isn't even the harmful nicotine. This is just the fun nicotine.
Yeah, I mean, They tell you your whole life, oh yeah, that Copenhagen's terrible for you. All right, well I'm gonna get the next best thing. Psych. Going after that next.
You know who's really to blame for this, right?
Chuck Schumer.
No, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Because if Tucker hadn't come out and started talking about how he loves Zen, then Chuck Schumer wouldn't have reacted and said we're going to try to crack down on Zen. I don't know what they're going to plan on doing. I bet they want to take away the flavors. If they treat it like they did the Jewel Pods or the e-cigs, they want to cut down on the flavors and the colorful packaging.
I mean, even
You know
with
what
the
it might
Jewel
really
Pod-
come down?
Go ahead, Andy.
You're probably right on Tucker. And who made Tucker and Zen popular? The Nelk Boys. And where are they from? Canada.
Canada.
In
It's the
Zen
Canadians.
Swedish. In Zen Swedish.
Yeah, Zen's a Swedish company.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Tucker, he's obviously, enemy number one for most people. The people that are going after it. But I just can't understand it. Like, God, these old ass fucks. Like, they're already expensive. I mean, just damn take your money and be done with it. It's the same argument I have with like weed. Like, just tax the shit. People are gonna smoke it, whether or not it's legal or not.
True.
Just get your money out of it and then go on about your way and use it for whatever bullshit you're gonna waste it on.
Have you guys ever
That's
heard
it.
of the comedian Dusty Slay?
No,
Yeah.
I've not.
Andy, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched his stand-up special on Netflix the other day. And speaking of weed, Kyle, he's from Alabama, long-haired dude, big glasses, comes out there and he does his bit on weed during his stand-up special. And he was like, it's a funny thing. He said, growing up in Alabama, getting weed was kind of dangerous. He goes, but it was fun to smoke. He goes, but the weed now is so strong. He goes, you go into the places where it's legal with the dispensaries, it's fun to get, but it's dangerous to smoke. He said, it's
Look.
basically hard drugs now.
Oh yeah, because man, look, shit, it wasn't even that long ago. 10 years ago, roughly. Me and my buddy Tyler, we would come home from Greenville, where there was that good, and we'd come home and get some Revs mid grade, and it was like brown, burnt ass weed, but it wasn't no heroin or none of that shit in it. It was just straight weed. It was trash weed, but it was cheap.
Kyle,
I mean,
you're not supposed to admit to your crimes on the internet.
Yeah, basically.
Allegedly.
Kyle says, but at the end of the day, we got scammed. It was oregano.
Yep,
That's where the idea for that episode of The Office when Michael
Yeah.
Scott tried to buy weed came from.
It was an apprese salad.
Yeah.
It's an apprese salad.
Yeah, I mean, they are putting stuff in it, but at the same time, like they're not cracking down on that, right? But they want to crack down on Zens. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh yeah.
They want you to pay in New England with their $17 cans of dip. That was 10 years ago. Who knows what it costs now?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you can get some cocaine laced fentanyl, but those Zens are killing Americans.
We're making the teenagers pop nicotine pouches. That's the real problem we're facing in America right now. Like, hands off our Zen. That's all I'm saying. Don't tread on us with the Zen. I'm with the people on the internet about the Zen thing here. That's a bridge too far for me. Like I'm a Zen guy.
Retweet.
So come and take it.
That's right.
Insurrection 2024.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Like, God. When I saw that, I was just like, Jesus Christ.
I was like, this
Can't
is
think of anything else
of
to
all
do.
the problems out there right now. Yeah, let's come after the colorful Zen cans and their different flavors of coffee and peppermint. They can't let people have that.
They're not even colorful. It isn't like damn Skittles. It's fucking blue and green and light blue
And dark green.
and dark green. I mean, it's
They do
not
have like a lime colored
it's not like, hey,
red.
we got rainbows. We're enticing 6-year-olds. Hey, little boy, you want some candy?
Well, see, like I have
Dip
friends
cans are more colorful.
Yeah. I have friends who have kids that are approaching like high school and middle school, and they talk about what their kids are like doing. It's vaping. Their Zens aren't. They're not sneaking around. Their kids are not sneaking around popping Zens. They're vaping.
Look, I'll be honest with you. The vaping is
Way more dangerous.
Probably way more dangerous because you can get like 9 milligrams, and if you've never had any nicotine and you load that little vape up with some 9 milligrams, you can fuck yourself up quick puffing on that bad boy. You know what I mean? I'm like, we were all there. You know, the first time you throw a dip in, oh boy, you are lightheaded as hell. But you can only imagine if you're doing that with like some strong ass saturated cloth and a vape, what it could be like for them. I mean, I get it, but like I'm just like, we're all adults. We have hard days, bad days. You know, want to relax, take the edge off, have a nice drink, a bit of nicotine, focus,
Dude,
relax.
the post Den Zen is elite.
The post what?
Den Zen, right after you eat dinner.
Oh, it's dessert.
Tell him, Andy, the PDZ, the post Den Zen.
We should trademark it, copyright struck.
Look,
right now.
I think they don't want Zen to be able to advertise anymore because Zen's like doing a lot of podcast advertising, YouTube advertising. But they want to treat it like cigarettes, and it's not cigarettes.
It says it on the label. It's already
They have the warning label about nicotine being an addictive chemical, and the only state in the country that requires a second warning label is California, because these things say it's known to the state of California to cause cancer. I guess it only causes cancer in that state. Well, the 49, maybe not, but
the sun causes
everything
cancer
causes cancer in California. Yeah, everything causes cancer in California.
Yeah.
You know the one thing that I fucking laughed at. Have you seen where like R.J. Morris and Philip Morris? They have the new signs up in in like gas stations. It was like, R.J. Morris is compelled by the U.S. government to say that cigarettes cause cancer. And I'm just like, they really made y'all put a sign up for this? Like, didn't we already have this argument 50 years ago? Like, you're not going to change anyone's mind.
No.
If they want to smoke cigs, they want to smoke cigs.
Now, there are far less people smoking cigarettes these days compared to what it used to be. And I think that's a good thing. Like, yeah. However, like, this isn't quite the same thing. Like the Zen topic here. Hands off for Zens.
Can we admit cigarettes are cool though?
No, so cigarettes look cool in a photo. But the problem is, like, most people don't look like James Dean when they're smoking a cigarette. They look like they look like the crackhead at the 7-Eleven.
Yes, I would agree with that, but
it's like the meme of what I think I look like versus what I actually look like.
Exactly. Yeah, everybody thinks
we think we look like James Dean, but we really look like white trash.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
In your mind, looks pretty cool smoking.
Yeah. In your mind, though, you think you look cool especially at like 16. You're like,
I'm
badass.
The Zach Bryan album cover looks cool, but if we were to do that, it would look lame.
Like this douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea of smoking a cig is cool.
It seems cool.
Yeah, seems cool.
But it's like smoking is bad for you.
Yeah. It still looks cool.
On, Kyle.
I want to put that out there so we don't have any like we're encouraging on YouTube, encouraging people to smoke when we're not. But it looks cool. It's just, but it's not cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, hands off for Zen. All right. So, next up, speaking of Zach Bryan, apparently there's been a little bit of drama surrounding Zach Bryan again. He was, so long story short, there's a little bit of quote unquote beef. It's not real beef, but it's like kind of perceived beef between Zach Bryan and Walker Hayes, or as a lot of our listeners probably know him as, the Applebee's guy, who had that awful song about Applebee's on a date night. That was a jingle that made it to radio and somehow became a hit. Song's terrible, but
trash,
absolute trash. And look, I will say that I think that Walker Hayes looks like a really nice guy and looks like a good father and decent dude. However, that song is trash, and most of his music I'm not a fan of.
He had two of the worst songs of 2022. I went back and looked.
Yes.
In the pot, they were god awful.
Yeah. So,
in fact, we have our target demographic. She's sitting on in the Cold Can studio with us now. She likes it. Terrible taste in music.
Kyle's referring to his fiance, America. But anyway, Zach tweeted about, so the fact that Tyler Childers' song, was it In Your Love, made it onto the radio charts. And that's like the first charting song that Tyler Childers has ever had. And he made a point that I agree with on Twitter about how it's wild that this is the first time Tyler Childers has charted in the top 40 on radio. He goes, imagine being the people at radio and Zach Bryan was like, whoever that is, and hearing Shake the Frost and be like, no, we're going to go with the Applebee's guy. And I'm like, okay, I kind of agree with that. It's a good point. Like, you have the Shake the Frost, you have, Feathered Indians, but let's go with Applebee's on a date night and whatever else he said in that song. That, like I said, it was made for a TikTok dance and a commercial.
Yeah. Even Shake the Frost, it's not even my favorite Tyler Childers song. I can,
it's a great song. Great song.
But so on this,
but hold on, let me finish this part and then I'll let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
But then Walker Hayes responded, right? Walker Hayes responded with, he had kind of a nice response because, like I said, Walker Hayes seems like a really nice guy. I don't want to disparage him as a person because he seems like a good dude. However, I don't like his music. And he was just talking about how tough it is making the music business. People like him and Zach Bryan, who have had some success, know that. So he had some snarky responses lined up, but he chose not to. He chose to take the higher road. But then him and his friends put together the equivalent of a pop country music diss track that wasn't really a diss track. There was only one line in it that was kind of maybe in that range. It was saying something in the orange tells me you're feeling green, which admittedly kind of a funny, cool line. Not going to act like it's not. But then he goes on saying that, it's just not worth him arguing with Zach Bryan was one of the lines in the song, something to that effect. But it was done in typical Walker Hayes production that was just layered vocals and programmed beats. And it just was his style I don't think is any good. I think it sounds bad. However, that was his quote unquote diss track. It got people on the internet talking. And Zach Bryan even kind of came out and was moderately walked it back, saying I wasn't saying this as a diss to Walker Hayes. I was saying this as a diss to radio, the fact that Tyler Childers has never had a song chart before, but yet other songs have charted. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I agree with that. But the comment sections went wild. People on Twitter were just kind of trashing Walker Hayes' diss track, and probably rightfully so, trashing the Applebee's song. And then even the Walker Hayes fans were kind of okay, this is a little bit cringe. So I know that you guys recently just heard it. I want to get your takes on all this.
All right. So first up, bold of Walker Hayes to come at Zach Bryan online. Zach Bryan's fans are very online. They're young. His fans are not. They are probably
early 30s to middle-aged white women.
Yes.
That's the fan base for Walker Hayes. Let's be honest.
They're not the Twitter base. They're the people who follow Instagram influencers on
they're the ones who are going to target fighting over the Stanley Cups.
Yes. Which putting
some miles on their own cloud tennis shoes.
Yes. Which pots and pans are the best ones to buy for easy cleaning? Yeah. So, bold strategy there. I don't give Zach Bryan credit for walking it back. He knew exactly what he was doing.
No, I didn't give him credit for the walk back. I gave him credit for the initial. But I do agree with what he said in the, like I said, kind of moderately walking it back of he was dissing radio because he was.
Yeah. I mean, he knew what he got himself into. All right, so here's my favorable.
We just wanted to double down.
Yes, never apologize. That's the way of the internet. Never apologize.
You only apologize if you're wrong, and what he said was true.
You don't even apologize if you're wrong. You just double and quadruple down.
I don't know. I believe in apologizing when you're wrong, but
anyway,
Kyle's like, nah, not me.
Nah. So this is the compliment I'll give Walker Hayes. This is probably his best written song. It has some clever lines.
Talking about the diss track?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good, but it's
that's the frustrating thing about Walker Hayes, though. I've listened to a few of his songs in the past. He has the ability to write some clever lines. It's just the production makes it such a burden to listen to.
The beat on this is horrendous.
It's that weird production, though. It's he kind of has this talking kind of almost like he sounds like what he probably is. And like I said, he looks like a nice guy, but he sounds like a dad trying to be cool because that's what he is.
He's the dad.
He's got 5 or 6 kids.
He's the dad in the background of his prepubescent daughters doing the Soldier Boy is what he is. You seen the TikToks where dad's in the background doing the dance and his daughters don't even know. but there's not the song actually has some. It's not a diss track, really.
It's
I mean,
not.
but it has some. It has some. I'm not gonna call it clever. It's quasi clever language in it. I'm not okay. This is better than anything I've heard from him. I mean, I don't want no beef. I mean, I didn't. I didn't think it was horrendous.
No. It was, like I said, the production is what killed it for me.
Yeah, like
And
I said,
also just the whole reason of y'all sitting around wanting to write that also was kind of like, okay, why? But it's almost he's been accused. I'm not saying this. The ZB fans, like you said, really young, perpetually online crowd. They're the ones that are like, hey, you're just trying to use this to get internet clout off of Zach Bryan. And I think that could be true. I don't know. I don't know the motivations, but we're talking about it. People with larger channels than us are talking about it. So in some ways, he's made himself relevant in the country music news cycle.
I think Howard Stern said it. It doesn't matter if you're saying good things or bad things about me. You're still talking about me.
Yeah.
And that may be it. And to an extent, he did pick Zach Bryan's. Is this the one radio single he's had?
Well, it's probably charted the highest for him.
Yeah,
for Zach
charted,
Bryan.
yeah,
Something in the orange. Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of targeted that. So, like I said,
and that line was solid.
Yeah,
Something in the orange tells me you're feeling green. However, I don't really think that Zach Bryan was really being like jealous of Walker Hayes. If we're being honest, Zach Bryan's about to go on a stadium tour. So what? He hasn't had a massive TikTok #1 hit on country radio. Nobody. That's at this point, it still matters a little bit, but radio is becoming antiquated compared to what it was even 10 years ago, much less 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, it's just. I just roll my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Just roll your eyes.
Andy, what were your thoughts on this? Because I know you had seen bits and pieces, and then I sent you that shout out Grady Smith video on YouTube because he kind of concisely put everything together.
I'd say first, I would say on a technicality, I would say Shake the Frost probably wasn't the best song for Zach Bryan to choose because I don't believe that has a studio cut of it out. I think it's only the live version out. So on a technicality, bad choice for that. But I kind of think Walker Hayes is just kind of jealous of Zach Bryan because for him to like in his quote diss track to go after Zach Bryan didn't mention himself. He mentioned Tyler Childers. He didn't bring himself into it. He was more so speaking on behalf of Tyler Childers, which I think Walker Hayes kind of sort of go after Zach Bryan. He's a little jealous. And if I'm not mistaken, the last line of that thing he did was something along the lines of like, we die trying to be Zach Bryan or something like that. Am I close on that, on the last line of that?
I don't remember exactly. So,
but I want to say it was more so is like, I don't know, but kind of saying like, we can't write the songs, you can type deal.
Not many people can.
Not only write them, but just
I kind of took it more
at an insane rate.
I took it kind of
that was
for
a compliment.
Him to behave like that he might be a little jealous of Zach Bryan.
I took that as more of a compliment than jealousy.
Yeah, I mean, look, even this really and like I don't think Walker Hayes meant it truthfully as a diss track. I think he kind of meant it to get into the news cycle, which successfully done, because he wasn't mean in the song. He was actually like he took the high road because, like I said, I've said it I think 3 times now. Walker Hayes seems like a decent human being. I just don't like his music.
Yeah, and I think Grady Smith hit on it. It was like he's a dad.
Yeah,
you don't want to be that guy when your kids get old enough to judge you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a hard thing to think about. None of us are parents, but
yeah,
we all in the future want our kids to think we were about as close to good as you can be. Nobody's perfect, so we don't want to be.
Yeah, and then look, and Walker Hayes hasn't had like a shoot up straight to superstardom either because like he had like one hit in the early to mid 2000s called Pants. You guys have heard that song. You probably don't remember it though, but you have heard that one. I promise you. And then it just like he kind of disappeared and didn't have any success. It took him like he said, 18 years to kind of get to where music was profitable for him to be able to support his family. And he found something that worked for him. It's not our thing. I'd venture to say it's probably not most of our listeners' thing. But there is a market for it. I just don't, objectively speaking, I don't think it's very good. I think he has talent and could write better songs, but the songs get buried out by the production choices. But again, not our thing here on Country and Cold Cans.
I think he kind of said it. Walker Hayes even kind of said it. I'm just trying to make a buck here in the music industry.
Yeah. And look, I don't blame him for that. I don't really get mad at people for trying to chase a dollar, right? You want to be able to afford nice things and take care of your family. We get mad at artists for doing commercials and chasing the bag, so to speak, but we don't get mad at regular people for it. I think that's a bit crazy. But I understand the line. People will say, well, there's a difference in, you have to straddle the line between art and commerce. And don't completely be a shill, but we all need to make money. They want to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we had the ability, like all of us, if we're being honest, there's very few people that probably would turn down the ability to make lots of money, even if you didn't necessarily love the music you were putting out. If we were talented musicians and we could write catchy pop country stuff with lots of buzzwords about Dixie cups and tailgates, we probably would.
Yeah, I would sell out in a minute. In a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. Yeah.
But I do see where it would, Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, they have better music.
Yes, objectively speaking,
it's just factual. Yeah. It's just factually, it's just better. And some people don't get as much money when they're doing a better job.
People within Nashville, if they were like in secret, not being recorded, would probably admit that it's just objectively better. Because being popular and being catchy doesn't make something good. The example I always use is, who sold the most cheeseburgers in American history? McDonald's. That doesn't mean McDonald's has the best burger. It's just the most accessible.
Yeah.
So
the last thing I'll say on Walker Hayes is, like I said, it isn't good, but just try. I mean, you had some clever lines in this.
I'd like to see him put out an actual country record, not like the program beats and that kind of like sing talk stuff that he's been doing. Like, I'd like to see, because I think he has the ability to put out some actual good country music.
Strip it back. I want to hear it.
Well, yeah, when he does acoustic versions of stuff, it's not bad.
Yeah, strip it back.
Yeah, strip it back. But so shifting gears a little bit, on our episode we did back in August, we did Carolina Country Music Month. We did our top 5 Mikkel Buck songs. Mikkel Buck listened to the episode. He saw it on YouTube and commented on it.
Nice.
Yeah, he listened to that. He was like, thanked us for all that. And I was just like, hell yeah, dude. I was like, keep doing what you're doing. We're big fans of Mikkel Buck. Yeah, if you don't know him, you're not from North Carolina, you don't know him, check him out. He's on Spotify, on Apple Music. Can't go wrong listening to Mikkel Buck.
Oh, he has, yeah. He hasn't been missing lately. He's had some good singles.
So. He really has. But next week, February 2nd, the three of us will be attending our first Country and Cold Cans concert of the year. We're seeing American Aquarium and Muscadine Bloodline, along with, I think, Gabe Lee is the opener, Muscadine the middle act, and American Aquarium the headliner for night 2 of Road Trip to Raleigh. Andy and I have talked about this a little bit in the past. Road Trip to Raleigh, I'm not going to go wax poetic because I've done it so many times on the show. It's kind of where this whole podcast was conceived 5 years ago. We went to the very first year before it was Road Trip to Raleigh. It was the Wolves album release party back in, I think, 2015.
I believe that's correct.
We went and saw John Moreland, Turnpike Troubadours, and American Aquarium in Raleigh. That kind of shifted our gears on what we knew about music in the country and roots genre. Really was kind of eye-opening, and we kind of dove in head first. A few years after that, we started the podcast. 5 years later, here we are now. I've been to at least one show every single year that it's been going on since 2015. I'm not as young as I used to be. I can't make it to 2 or 3 in a row anymore. but we are going to the Friday night show this year. And look, I always like seeing American Aquarium. I've seen them over 35 times at this point, but I'm really excited to see Muscadine Bloodline. I don't think I've seen them in many, many years. I saw them play an acoustic show at City Limits back in the day in Raleigh, but I'm looking forward to seeing them. That last record they put out, Teenage Dixie, I think it was my number 2 record on my favorite records of last year. It was absolute fire. So I can't wait to see those guys.
I just want to hear it named after natives. Gosh. I'm looking forward to that one song more than any other song.
Well, consider, I don't know if they're going to play it, so don't get your hopes up too high.
They've got to play that. It's a new album. It's got to be in the mix, right?
Yeah, that album's a year old now. And you got to understand, they had like a lot of back catalog.
Yeah.
Over the years.
I guess Crying in a GMC would do.
I could see that one probably getting played.
Yeah, I guess Crying in a GMC.
I'm pretty sure they'll play either Low Hanging Fruit or Warehouser Land.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are like new. So, yeah. I want to hear Teenage Dixie live.
I'm pretty sure they'll play that.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's title track. But I'm looking forward to that show. Lincoln Theater, shout out Lincoln Theater Raleigh. Definitely a fun place to watch a show. 900 people, standing room only.
The last time I saw American Aquarium, I was 24.
Yeah.
I am on the losing side of 25.
Yeah. That was pre-COVID.
It was. It was like 2018.
Might have been.
17? I don't know.
No, if you were 24. Yeah, 2018. It had to have been.
Yeah, so pushing 30.
Yeah. I'll be 30 in 6 weeks, so you still have till the summer.
I still have 5 months, baby. 5 months.
Yeah. I'm 6 weeks away from being past where I thought I could ever see myself growing up. But when I was like 30s old, and I'm like, 30's not that old.
And you're May, aren't you? Andy?
That's right.
Okay, thought so.
May 11th, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're 2 months older.
4 months. Yep.
You're 2 months exactly older than me.
Yeah. So, well, it's my last concert of my 20s. American Aquarium, Muscadine Bloodline.
It's a good one, though.
It really is. Going into my 30s, doing it right. All right. So, last thing we kind of want to talk about was I saw something on YouTube the other day. Riley Green, people post like acoustic videos of songs they've written, whether it's an old song or brand new song. And I kind of went down the rabbit hole on that. He had posted a couple, one from 2 years ago, one from 2 weeks ago. And I sent it to you guys and I was like, dude, I hope this new one is going to be on the next record because I think it's the best one, in my opinion, that he's ever put out. But it's definitely a top 5 song he's ever been a part of, called I Couldn't Fit That on a Sign. He did the acoustic thing on YouTube where it's like it's a very good story and it's a fleshed out song. Andy, like the choruses are even different. I know that you and I both like that about a song when it's not just the same generic chorus repeated 3 times. But him talking to a homeless man with a sign that said Jesus saves, and then wants to like talk to him, hear his story, hear about how he got to this point. He goes through his life of all the bad luck and the tragedy. And then, I just put Jesus saves because, you couldn't fit all of that on a sign. Very good song. And then another one called Tail Lights. It was 2 years ago that I'm just like, this one is not a song about a truck. It seems like it's a song about a truck, but the truck is being used as a plot device for his lady friend leaving him. And then going and checking the fuses and replacing the bulbs on the taillights when he's trying to sell the truck to somebody, being like, everything's good about it, but I ain't gonna lie, there's something wrong with the taillights. And then seeing the taillights as he's leaving. And then when I first heard it, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. How does he have the truck if she left in it? Second verse wraps that up where he's like, oh, I went to go get it from her mom's the next day. But I really like that song a lot too. And I was like, wow, couldn't this one have been on the record? I'm just, me being cynical, I'm going to blame the label, saying they got involved. And this one is better than like the If It Wasn't for Trucks type songs out there. This is like one of the better ones Riley Green's been a part of as well. And I wish it had been on the album.
You sent it to us and said, talked about how great it was. And I said, well, it's not on the album. It's not a radio hit.
Right.
But it absolutely could be a radio hit.
I think so too. I think this one
yeah.
definitely could be a radio hit.
Yeah. I couldn't fit that on a sign. I get heavy Craig Morgan vibes. What was it? What was the name of that song he wrote? He's talking to a homeless guy on the bridge.
Home.
Almost home.
Almost home. Yeah.
Kind of reminds me a lot of that song, and that song was huge.
Yeah, it was.
So it's just straight acoustic. Both of them are great. I couldn't fit that on a sign a lot more than I do taillights, because taillights is a lot more common of a theme, but I mean, like, God, dude, watching these two videos, it just makes me mad, because
I think the radio gets involved too much. Or the radio, with the radio,
label,
indirectly, the label probably gets involved too much.
Because watching these two, stuff we always talk about, like North 121, we know there's real talent there, and we're going to release the same song 4 times and put different titles on them, and it's like, okay, well, one of those was fine, but 3 of them is not.
Yeah,
it's just frustrating as hell.
The thing is, like, Taillights is what I call a truck song done right, because it's not a song about a truck. The truck's used as a plot device, but it's not just using it to list things. The truck is the story is like him selling the truck, because it's, as much as he loved the truck and doesn't want to part with it, it's the memories of her leaving him and the taillight kind of flickering, which, it's almost like Settle for a Slowdown. Andy, you remember that Dierks Bentley song many years ago? She probably had a little bit of hesitation and she hit the brakes. And that's what's messing him up, because he's like, she's leaving, but then she kind of probably hit the taillight and then decided to keep going. It isn't just this list song. There's a story there, and the truck is used as a plot device. That is what I consider a very, very well written song. That's a truck song done right.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, they're both fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you that I like. I think that I couldn't fit that on signs. The better song of the two, though.
Yeah, the best part about it, I couldn't fit on a sign.
Were you saying like you think? Were you saying like you think that like there was the flicker was her hitting the brakes in the tail light?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Logan?
Yeah.
I don't think that's not how I took it. I took it though is that as she drove away, tail lights get dimmer and dimmer as she drives away, and I took it more as he was saying is she can't be driving away. The tail lights got to be fading out, and this. But it's more, I took some more as a theme. There's a theme of denial. You said with the sweat in my eyes, it's not crying, it's sweat.
Yeah.
It's not her driving away. His taillights got to be dimming out on me. That's how I took it.
But he's singing about the taillights dimming out and him watching it dim out. But that doesn't imply any malfunction. A malfunction would be, if she's driving away, the taillights are going to be lit up especially if it's dark, right? But they're not going to flicker if you don't hit the brakes, if there isn't a problem. And I think that him seeing the flicker of her having kind of second thoughts very briefly, but then continuing on, was where he was like, well, she had already made up her mind to leave. It must have been something wrong with the taillight. That's that way I took it.
So the image that came in my mind is...
No, I
Go ahead, Andy.
Is in like, as she's getting further away, the taillights are... And he's taking it more as,
there's
she can't
nothing
be driving away.
I mean, I could see that, I guess, if you're saying that, but it's like there's no malfunctioning of a taillight if it just fades out in distance.
So, all right. So the way I took it was,
I don't think there is a malfunction.
No, I don't think
that's my point. There wasn't a malfunction. It was her kind of like hitting it briefly and then continuing to go on, and him thinking, like, she's on the way out. I'm watching her. I don't know. I mean, like, who knows?
All right, so the image that came in my mind was, imagine a rural road, maybe rural Georgia. You got a lot of trees, maybe a little bit of hills. As you see her drive off, the taillights flickering between the trees. That's kind of what I thought of.
And honestly, all 3 of these are very valid. Yeah. It could be.
That's what I thought of. It wasn't hitting brake lights or anything. It's just, you know how car lights look when, they hit the trees and they flicker. Because
it's funny, the 3 different takes we all had on this. Andy it was all in his head, mental aspect. Yours was the terrain caused it to have a little bit of a flicker, and mine was Dierks Bentley Settle for a Slowdown. he was looking for her to tap the brakes just a little bit. And when she did, he almost didn't believe it. And so he thought something was wrong with the taillight.
See, I think of how would you shoot this as a music video? That's what I thought would be the easiest way to do it.
This would be a great music video.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, how would you make this a music video? And you just, go like a 45-degree angle from the truck riding down the road where you can catch it flickering through the trees and on a rural road.
Yeah.
That's kind of what came to my mind.
This would be a good music video.
Yeah.
Settle for a Slowdown was a great music video. One of Derek's best.
I can't place that music video. It's been years, but I don't remember. I
It's
only remember.
close to 20 years old now, which is nuts.
Oof. Getting old. Getting old as fuck.
How do you think Derek Spenley feels?
Well, Dirk, he still looks good. So,
yeah, they take care of themselves and they exercise. Something that
They also have
Kyle
a lot of-
started doing within the last year, but
they have a lot of
I
money.
can't say that I have.
They have a lot of money. So they don't really have to exercise. They just get drugs.
Yeah, no, it's like
It's like a Nickelback. There's a Nickelback
Dirk's
song about
exercises.
that.
well, it's like the internet says when they saw Tom Brady and his combine photos versus Tom Brady at like 47. It's like
Yeah.
just a reminder to everyone, you're not ugly. You're just poor.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen Kim Kardashian when she's like 20 versus what she looks like now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love Jennifer Aniston, right? I think she's arguably one of the most beautiful women of all time in America. However, as good looking as she was when she was younger, which I believe she would have been even if she was poor, she's 50 now. Her and Jennifer Lopez both still beautiful women.
Yeah.
They're not that beautiful if they were poor.
No. Like I said,
Same
plastic
with Tom Brady.
surgery.
Like I said, this isn't just a strictly female thing. Same with Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't look the way he does at his age if he wasn't rich.
Yeah. There's a lot of actors like that.
Because Tom Brady objectively looks better now than he did when he was like 23.
That's what happens when they put you on that testosterone replacement therapy and the trend.
It's the TB12 method, bro.
Yeah. A shot in your ass. Low T? No problem.
All right, well, Andy, any closing thoughts before we wrap things up today?
I'll throw in the fit that on a sign. That song reminds me a lot.
Just so people know listening, we did not ask Andy his opinion and then cut him off. Andy's internet in Nebraska just went out and he just disappeared from the meeting. Okay, he's back.
He's in the third world country we call the Midwest.
Don't get that argument started.
I'm trying to egg it on. It's a third world country.
No, Andy just we've had too many arguments about what is and isn't the Midwest over the last 3 years.
We had one this week.
That's what I mean. It wasn't like an argument from 3 years ago. It's been a persistent argument he and I have had for 3 years.
And I have no dog in that fight and couldn't give a damn less, but I still love to egg it on. My closing comments while we wait for Andy to rejoin is, Riley, you have serious chops, man. Throw your weight around.
Put these on the record.
Yeah, throw them just big old nuts. Put them on the table and say, this is what I'm doing.
Proverbially speaking, not literally, figuratively.
Or literally or figuratively, if that's your choice.
It's like the second week in a row you've talked about something with wieners and nuts.
I mean, yeah, but just throw them on the table, man. You have weight, man. Just flex.
I would be very disappointed if these two songs don't make an album.
They should.
They should.
And he should flex on the label.
All right, Andy's back. Andy, I think we can get you now.
Am my back?
Yeah, you're back.
No, you're gone.
The fog's rolling in. The internet's going with it. But the
Third
couldn't
world
fit that on
country.
a sign. Reminds me quite a bit of Midnight by the Black Lilies, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. So I would also go check that out. And if you can find the backstory for the song, it makes it even better because it's a true story.
100%. That is a fantastic song. All right, well, that's the show. Go follow us on YouTube and Rumble at Cold Cans Country. You can type in country and Cold Cans, see our logo. It'll be there. Subscribe. See you next time.
Take care, guys.